Welcome to Taxing Poetic, brought to you by Synexus Tax Solutions. I'm your host, Tim, joined by...
I'm your other host, Jenny.
And as always, JB, our producer, is
Hello.
here with us today.
Yep.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Hey, and the title of this episode is Yellowstone, fork around and find out.
Colon or semicolon?
I guess semicolon, you know.
No, probably colon.
Probably colon.
Yeah, we're going to go with colon.
Okay. All right.
So we're going to be talking about states in our regional series that are Arizona, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming. So, Jenny, we got a whole host of states to take care of today.
I know. And JB, you know I have to ask this every episode. What is this actually called on Wikipedia?
Yeah. Let's look up the Wikipedia regions series.
Okay.
Regions.
While you're doing that, I can go ahead and read my haiku for this episode.
Love it.
Okay.
Haiku me.
Everybody ready? Haiku you? Okay. All right. Set the scene here. Yellowstone sales tax. It's going to the train station. Rip is my hero.
That is awesome.
Rip.
Way to bring in the current events and pop culture reference.
And one of the best shows ever.
I know.
Yes.
It's pretty solid.
It sounds like JB doesn't watch it. You don't know who Rip is?
I don't.
From the show Yellowstone?
Oh my God. I'm looking up the regions. That's on me. I wasn't paying attention. Of course I know who Rip is.
Wheeler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rip,
Yes.
Yeah, Rip Wheeler.
Of course.
Hello.
Dutton Wheeler presidential campaign 2024.
Oh, now you're talking. No, yes. Hi, Kevin Costner.
There you go.
I hear you're single now.
Oh my gosh.
The division. This
Yes.
is Division 8. The highly
Highly coveted division.
coveted Division 8, and it's just the mountain, which actually sounds
the mountain?
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, mountain.
I'm good
Okay.
with that.
Let's do it.
This is the mountain
Let's
division.
talk about the Mountain Division. This sounds like a Big 12 or something.
You know, I went to college in Arizona.
That's right.
Yeah, good old Arizona State.
Oh.
There's a lot of mountains there. Superstition Mountains. Go do some hiking through there. It's kind of cool.
They're actually called Superstition
Yeah, they're called the
Mountains.
Superstition Mountains.
I do not want to hike there then.
Oh,
It
it's pretty
sounds
awesome.
a little scary.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yikes.
All right, so the first thing out of the gate, we're going to do a pop quiz, Jenny.
Right after the break?
No, but we're gonna do a break after.
Oh, sorry.
We can't
Okay.
break now. We haven't even done anything yet.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought you
You'd be
meant.
like,
We have the break. And
You need
uh,
This sounds
already?
like my normal work day. Come into the office, I need to take a break.
One email. That's and done.
Do a little research. Have a nice day. It's time for lunch. Who's buying?
this is all being cut, right?
Perfect.
No, it's not.
I don't do a lot of editing. I do the same amount of. I take a break. I listen and then I just take a break right away. That's what we do.
JV is the model of productivity.
Yes. And a
right.
special thank you to Donna for doing our quiz while she was on vacation. I'm sure she loved that, but we needed it. Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you, Don.
Well, let's see what she's going to hit us with today.
Okay, first question for Tim. Which of these jurisdictions include the jurisdiction of the Navajo Nation?
Arizona.
Now, I'm going to give you a little hint here. There's more than one. So which ones?
Which one? Do I have to name all of them?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
All the states or all
Mm-hmm.
the...
Okay, so I'm going to go Arizona is definitely one.
Correct.
Okay. New Mexico is one.
Correct.
And then Utah.
And he got all three. He seems, I think he was just playing us. He's
I
like,
think
I
he
don't know,
was
how
too.
could I do this? And he just got them all, and then he got them
more than one?
immediately.
Oh.
All right, Tim, 1 point.
So annoying.
Okay, Jenny, in which state do the local tax laws not always follow the state tax laws?
Oh, that has to be New Mexico.
So, Tim, do you want to try to steal a point?
I'm going to steal a point. That will be Colorado.
It's always Colorado.
I should know that by now.
It's why I feel like that's why we bring them up so much,
I
because
know.
they're weird. They don't even play nice with each other.
I mean, are the leaves baking your brain? Like,
Where have I been the last several episodes? Maybe I just felt bad for Colorado.
we've incessantly picked on Colorado because of this issue.
Yes.
I absolutely love it.
Okay, Tim, which state has a 1% statewide restaurant tax?
Nevada?
It is Utah.
Oh my gosh.
Anybody even know why?
No,
And
why-
why is that? So this obviously is an interesting fact. Why?
Well, give us a factoid.
I mean,
I
this
don't
is
even
what
know.
I'm saying.
Do
Like,
we even file any Utah restaurant tax returns?
You know what? Yes, I think we do.
Well, I've never filed one that I know of.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not.
So we'll have to follow up with that maybe.
Yeah, I have to check with the old Nick GPT.
Yeah.
See what he knows.
I know.
Yep.
Okay.
1% statewide restaurant tax in Utah. Okay, Jenny.
Okay.
What was the interesting factoid? You kind of
I guess I think that's what I'm saying. Like if there's a question that Donna wrote down, that must be like, oh, whoa, that was interesting. Not just which one of these, it's like that time I asked you about the specific form name.
Yeah, exactly.
That was just a bad question. Okay, Jenny, in which state does a liquor license belong to the entity?
A liquor license belong to the entity. Utah.
It's Wyoming.
Wow.
Now, I remember something interesting about Wyoming. They had, remember their booze taxes, either very, very high or very, very low. I can't remember which one, but we talked about Wyoming on our boozy.
Well, I know New
Nice.
Jersey follows the same rule, whereas like the liquor, like your liquor license, basically is non-transferable, and it basically goes with an entity. And if you lose it, it's like next to impossible to get it back. It's extremely difficult. So Wyoming must be kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting.
That is interesting. Okay.
So if you sell the assets of a restaurateur and not the entity, the license will go back into the pool and you can lose it.
There you go.
So
yeah,
don't do that.
don't do
Wyoming.
that.
There's your-
Hold on to your license with dear life.
I guess so.
Jeez.
Goodness. I know. 0 points for me so far. Surprise.
All right. Tim, which state has varying tax rates depending upon your revenue stream?
Varying tax rates depending upon your revenue stream. That's a kind of a vague question. New Mexico.
So it's Arizona. Wouldn't everybody, isn't that how taxes work?
No, sometimes aren't there strata of tax? Doesn't Virginia have that too?
I don't know.
I feel like Virginia has that strata as well.
Why is my mind like completely blown right now?
I know, because you're focusing on Colorado. I know why. It's like every answer's Colorado. So yeah, you're like Arizona.
Do you have an explanation there? Did you give us-
We don't, and like that's what, because I mean, you go into different tax brackets as you make more money. I mean, isn't that just how it works? Like,
well, for
why?
income tax, but not for
Yeah,
sales
in-
tax
Not for
usually.
sales tax.
That's what it's got to be interesting about it.
Yeah,
because
so-
Arizona actually changes depending on
Right.
how
That's
much you do.
and like I say, I think Virginia does that too. But I don't know. We might have to follow up with that and do a little special mini podcast.
We're talking about Arizona later, so maybe we'll dive deep into
Okay.
into that.
There
Okay.
we go.
All right, Jenny, which state lowered their statewide rate in July of 2022?
Oh, statewide rate in 2022. I'm gonna say Idaho.
It's New Mexico.
Really?
Lowered it from 5.125. to
Probably when they went from CMP and remember, gosh, I'm losing my brain too. Remember they went from the combined CRS, like the combined
Yeah.
return,
Yep.
to the GRT
Yep.
and the CMP.
Yep.
I bet that's when they did it.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah. You stole my joke.
5. Did it make it easier? Why would they lower it?
I don't know. We might have to do a deep dive in that too. Just
Yeah.
they
Seems
must.
like a nice guy thing to do.
Exactly. Hey, let me just go ahead and reduce this rate for you.
I don't know. Maybe with the exodus of folks leaving California and other states, they were trying to make it more attractive.
I don't know.
Folks to move there. I
Maybe.
mean, makes sense.
Yeah,
That's why a lot of folks, migrated to no personal income tax states, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
since that song in Rent about Santa Fe, I haven't really even heard anything about New Mexico. They haven't been doing a lot of
What,
marketing.
Breaking Bad?
Oh, that's true.
I don't know if that's positive.
Greatest show ever. Yes, and Better Call Saul.
It's great. So I wouldn't say we killed it, but Tim did get that first one. That was cool.
I know, and
So,
he stole a point for me.
Tim
and
got one,
I got-
kind of like stole a point.
Yeah,
Jenny didn't get any
know.
points.
I know. It's not looking good for me.
Not a lot of
we're
points.
we're coming down to the wire.
I
here,
know.
Jenny, and it's
Do you need to remind everyone what's at stake, JB?
Yeah, so obviously at the end of the year, the winner gets a nice letter read to them that the loser has written about them.
Yes. Kind of like when Weekend Update, when they write each other's jokes.
It's possible
They have to read
that Jenny should maybe start
I know.
on that letter.
Go,
Well, it sounds like Tim needs to start on the letter for me.
You can just go ahead and contact George W. Bush and have him start, basically writing my letter for you.
George W. Bush. Why? Does he know you personally?
I don't know. But it'd be great to have him read it off for me.
My goodness. Oh, well, now we're going to go to a break, and we'll be right back with our estate discussion. We are back from our break, and we were just laughing about ourselves and how terribly we did in that quiz.
Man, my mind is completely blown. Thank you for Donna McMurray. I thought that I have been doing sales tax for decades, which I have. And like some of the stuff you were doing were just like watching paint dry.
I know. And it just goes to show we were discussing just how complicated and granular sales tax is. Even GPT Tim,
Yeah.
he even doesn't know all the answers.
So we were watching paint dry. Maybe we were eating paint.
Maybe eating paint chips. Yeah. Did you eat paint chips as a kid?
I love it.
Yes, we were eating paint chips. So yes, but it just kicks off a lot of discussion, which is necessary and what we love to do and love to nerd out about. So we're going to deep dive into some of those quiz questions as we go through the states here. So the first one we're going to start with is, you down with TPT?
Nope.
No? Yeah, you know me? No? Arizona? TPT?
Yes, Arizona 110%, but not the Naughty by Nature reference.
Oh, come on. TPT. So transaction privilege tax.
There you go. And so when Donna was asking the question about revenue bands, it was more of the types of things that you actually sell. So when you look at the individual rates that are at Arizona municipalities, so you look at like the city, certain cities and the taxes that they impose, they may have a different rate for advertising services versus construction contracting services versus mining services, or just general sales of tangible personal property. It's really, really interesting that their fractional rate, percentage changes based off of your nature of your activity and what you're actually selling.
So dumb that down. So you're saying depending on what you're selling, you're going to have a different rate.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
So like if I am in Benson, Arizona, and I do amusement services, my tax rate is 3.5% for Benson. But then if I'm doing, let's say, metal mining in Benson, my tax rate is only 0.1%. So,
but that's unusual, right?
Oh, it's really unusual.
Yeah, most states don't do that.
Every
correct?
other state, typically your rate is exactly, it's blanket. It's the same across the board. So whatever type of service that you're providing, or whatever, you're actually selling, it's typically that rate. Now, granted, we have differences for food and beverage and for liquor. We've talked about that extensively in the past.
True.
But these rates vary drastically across the board, which is really kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
Way to go, Donna.
Yeah, thanks, Donna. That's new news to me.
Why would they do that? It seems unnecessarily complicated.
I honestly have no idea.
That's a great question.
That is a fantastic question.
Anybody?
You know what? Can I tell you? They have great lobbyists. That's it. They the metal mining lobby in Arizona, tons of copper coming out of that state. Hey, guess what? They wanted to reduce the amount of tax that they were after, either collect or, charge, for certain types of these mining services. So, hey,
Yeah.
way to go, copper lobby. Good job.
Anyone out there in the Arizona Department of Revenue or state legislature, feel free to call us or email us. Come on the show. Please explain.
Yep.
Open
I got a few other
invitation.
things to talk to you about as well.
Oh, boy. Hopefully not the Sun Devils. Okay. So Arizona, any other any things you want to tax poetic about?
Construction contracting in Arizona is a mess. Where I think we're going to do a complete deep dive on contracting services in general. We're going to look at doing a 3-part series on construction contractors and the difficulties they face with sales and use tax in the future. But with regards to Arizona, it's just really strange. Like if you're doing repair and remodel activity, it's classified as, repair and remodel, and you actually have to collect tax from someone. If you're doing new construction, there's certain types of adjustments you get to make to your taxable base. There's certain activities that are taxed during those new construction contracts, certain activities that are not. It's really interesting and complicated. I won't geek out. Just know that if you're a contractor and you're working in Arizona, you definitely have a ladder to climb in front of you from a
wow.
from a tax perspective.
Well, I will fail all quiz questions about that. So just go ahead and put me down for 0 for all 3 parts.
Haven't you already
JD.
failed all the quiz questions?
well-
Oh,
Oh,
burn.
yikes. I'm going to laugh so I don't cry. Okay, so let's move on to, should we go to Colorado next? Our favorite?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I can't pick on them anymore.
I know.
really can't.
I know. So home rule state, right? Oh, and Donna reminded me they have a change in their retail delivery fee law that I think is coming out. Or maybe, Tim, do you already know about this?
The rate actually already changed earlier this year, right? I want to say it changed back in July.
Yes.
It changed to 28 cents from 27 cents.
Yes. And now, as of July 2023, also, retail deliveries by qualified businesses are exempt from the fee. And a qualified business is, anyone who made retail sales of TPP commodities totaling $500K or less.
There you go.
Because we have talked about that. I know in our everyday compliance life, like a lot of the states are going in and closing a lot of our clients' accounts for the retail delivery fee
Right.
because they didn't meet the threshold.
There you go.
So that's kind of nice, right?
It is. I
Yeah.
mean, you're giving people a break. Hey,
Yeah.
Colorado, high five.
Yes.
Nice.
We're saying something nice about you, Colorado.
You know,
Don't be too mad at us.
I can't. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Well, the Haterade container has been empty.
Shoulder. Sorry. What? Don't get you started. Okay.
Prime time tax.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. So Colorado, anything else in Colorado?
No. Just, very interesting state because of the home rule. You got to be very careful with taxation of certain types of products, right? So the state may not tax certain things. Cities may do it differently if it's a home rule.
Oh, right,
So they
right.
can they can basically impose their own interpretations or own basically decisions on taxation of like software exemptions for hotels. We find this it's really kind of interesting. If what qualifies as an exempt stay can differ in a municipality versus what the state says qualifies as an exemption for a stay, whether it's 30 days and what the documentation's required for that stay. Yay, City of Westminster, not to pick on you. But anyways, it's very, very different and very interesting.
Colorado just seems like it's a chill state. And so maybe they should just do a statewide rate and get rid of all this and just be chill. Just be cool. I mean, for many reasons, they're chill, right?
Go ahead and put in the lobby, Jenny.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, I'm just saying Colorado. If you
Colorado's a big state, though. A lot of different vibes in Colorado.
Oh, so it's
depending
not
on
all
which
chill?
Colorado. Yeah. I
Okay.
think, a lot of different vibes.
There you
Okay.
go.
Okay. Different vibes. So that's the reason why we have home rule. Okay. Fair enough. All right, Tim. So let's move on. New Mexico.
Home of my favorite minor league baseball team, the Albuquerque Isotopes.
The Isotopes? Is that because of Area 51?
That's basically it, yeah. And also because of Los Alamos National Laboratory and everything there because of the nuclear stuff, the isotopes.
Do they all have like 3 heads or?
No, but they've got this like little atom thing on their hat. It's actually pretty
That
awesome.
is awesome. I've never heard of them.
Yep.
I'm a fan. Okay.
Good stuff.
Okay. Other than the Isotopes, what's going on in New Mexico?
Gross receipts tax, right? Got to understand that they basically tax almost everything. It's really interesting tax regime. Exempt sales in New Mexico are quite interesting for a lot of our clients. State issued NTTC certificate or NTTCs.
NTCC?
NTTC. It's non-taxable transaction certificate.
Okay.
You basically log into your account, put in your, customer's name or your, vendor's name, whatever. You can go ahead and get a certificate printed out for you from the state website, but you need to issue that certificate to folks for either exempt purchases or if someone's actually, doing an exempt transaction for you, they may ask you for your NTTC, and so you have to go and print one out and give it to them. So anyways, it's very, kind of convoluted and interesting process, but
Okay.
hey, New Mexico laid it out. You got to follow it.
Yeah. And they combined, lowered their state rate by 1%. Is that correct?
I want to say so, yeah.
Isn't
Yep.
that what we talked about in the quiz? And
That was Utah.
Nope.
no.
It was New Mexico.
New
You're falling
Mexico.
asleep over there.
I know.
Oh, wasn't-
Remember, wasn't that part of the quiz? They
Let me find
lowered
out.
because we were talking about how they combined the CRS, combined revenue system. They broke it up with GRT and CMP. So I
Hey,
was.
you know me?
Oh, see, you
There
love
it is again.
So not acceptable for TPT, but GRT, it's okay. All right, I see how it is. Or CMP. That was CMP. Okay, so we were just wondering if that was something that came along with them redeveloping their tax collection system is maybe they lowered the rate for some reason.
There you go.
Or maybe
made it more attractive for people leaving California.
There you go. No, honestly, that's what I was thinking too. They were wanting to
New
attract
Mexico,
people.
gorgeous state. Go visit it.
I know.
Awesome.
I've never been there.
Say hello to Walter White.
Yeah, so you were close. It was just
know.
they lowered it from 5.125 to 5, so it was a 0.125. I just didn't want to give them. We were over crediting.
Okay, yeah, 1%'s a lot.
One's a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And who wants to calculate 5.125%? It's a lot easier to do 5% and stuff, right?
Agreed.
One is the biggest number. The Beatles song.
It's also the loneliest number.
And the loneliest, yes. Wow. Okay, down a rabbit hole there. Okay, so New Mexico. All right, anything else?
Nope.
You ready? Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on to Idaho.
Idaho, the potato state.
Yes. Who
Yes.
doesn't love potatoes?
You know?
I know.
Yep. Got family that lives there. Absolutely awesome. Gorgeous state. Really no complaints with Idaho in general. You know,
I'm a fan.
pretty easy administered tax, statewide rate. Pretty cool website. Pretty easy to
Yeah.
use.
Single rate. I'm huge. That's
There you
huge
go.
for me. Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
I wrote here down on our brainstorm notes that every state should be like Idaho.
That's basically it.
Every state should be like Idaho.
From a tax administration standpoint, they honestly should. Major props, Idaho. Good job.
Do you know they named Orida potatoes after Oregon and Idaho? Did you know that? It was a Final Jeopardy question one time because I think they shipped the potatoes from Idaho to Oregon
To get processed?
to get processed, so they named it Orida. I never knew that.
How awesome is that?
I know. How
to
fun.
go.
So, okay.
Crinkle fries.
Okay. So, yeah. So,
Who gets the sales tax on that?
well, definitely not Oregon.
Definitely not Oregon because
Because why, JB?
There are no mad states.
Yes. Oh, you're hired. Your filing returns this month.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so let's talk about. Oh yeah, so that's Idaho. We have no beef with them, just potatoes, and we're a fan, right? Everyone be like Idaho.
110%.
Yes, if you're out there listening, states, Colorado. All right, so Nevada. Oh my gosh, Tim, this is your favorite. We might spend a lot of time on Nevada. I know you have a lot of fun stuff to share.
Yeah, some fun stuff to share. I mean, the commerce tax is something that everybody always overlooks in Nevada. It's basically if you make over $4 million in Nevada, you have to file this additional return that a lot of people aren't really aware that you could be subject to. You know, food giveaways. We talk about complimentary meals and we talk about complimentary beverages and things like that.
Where do you get those?
Restaurants.
No, but what city would you get the majority of your complimentary food and beverages?
Las Vegas?
Yes.
Lost wages?
Las
But no, in all honesty, all kidding aside, you would think that the casinos would have some sort of racket where they could give away booze without having, they give away tons of booze, right? And even JB said this. JB was like, oh my gosh, they give away so much liquor. They actually have to pay use tax on the liquor that they give away.
That was my question. Yeah, I would assume it's like they're taking it from their inventory, right?
Yep.
They purchased it. They're not collecting sales tax on it. They purchased it wholesale, I assume. So they have to pay, use tax.
You have to pay use tax on the liquor, but non-alcoholic beverages and food that you give away are not subject to the use tax. And that's to employees and to the general public.
Non-alcoholic beverages.
Non-alcoholic beverages. So if you go to a casino that serves no booze and they're having you beverages, they ain't paying no tax on it.
What if, you say a casino that serves no booze, but don't they all serve booze?
They all.
But so like if I went to a casino and ordered a Coke.
Yeah, they're not paying use tax on it.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Same thing, we got an iced tea.
Okay. All right. So, all right, there's that. What else we got?
Tattoo services,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Jenny asked, and she was kind of curious, JB was too, if tattoo parlors are actually subject to tax in Las Vegas. And no, they're not.
Well, because it's the whole is it a service? Are they providing a TPP in the form of the ink? But this is where we go through our whole.
The TPP is ancillary, ancillary component of the service,
Exactly.
and would be non-taxable.
I know.
And so the service provider would actually have to pay tax on the stuff that they purchased up front, which would be tangible personal property. They'd buy the ink, they'd buy the guns, the needles, all that other stuff. It would all be taxable to them. They would pay that tax, and then boom, everything that they do is non-taxable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's kind of like us with accounting,
Yeah. That's true.
Non-taxable service.
I mean, you just never know. It's kind of like the paper we print returns on, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're still printing paper returns, I don't know what planet you live on.
True. Just my 1040 easy form.
Just mailing it into Sevierville, Tennessee.
No, that's true. We do mail in plenty of returns. So.
There you go.
Yes.
The state-administered website for Nevada, what is it, Silver Flume?
Oh, God.
Right?
Yes.
So like, okay, we're gonna wax nostalgic here for a minute and just talk about like the evolution of Nevada and their website. Like they tried to do this massive website update a number of years ago, and they did, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was this just massive like disconnect between the dudes who wrote the website and ladies that maybe built the website versus what the department was actually expecting. But make a payment in Nevada and try to call and confirm that it's been made, and they'll sit there and say, well, did you see it leave your bank account? Well, no, not yet. But can you see if it's in the queue? Now just wait and see if it hits your bank account. If it doesn't hit in a week, then give us a call. Well, what about penalties and interest? We'll deal with it then.
Yeah, and you're going to get them.
And you're going to get them.
Yeah, so even though you called and we can't give you answers.
I mean, legitimately, man, it's pretty interesting. So shameless plug, we have ways to work with that and work around that at Synexus, but it is still quite complicated as a taxpayer going into Nevada and trying to get statuses on your account and payments and everything else.
Nevada, if you need to start taxing non-alcoholic beverages, like paying use tax or just putting in a 1% tax on something to pay for your new website.
Hey, you heard it here,
Please
folks.
do it.
Jenny just tried to make your Vegas trip more expensive.
Well, if it helps me in my everyday job, then...
What happened to the $5.95 prime rib buffet? Like, I remember that when I was a kid and my parents used to go to Vegas. Like, you can get, like, awesome food buffets for super cheap. Now it's, like, stupid expensive.
Would you really pay $5.95 for a prime rib though? Would you
back
eat?
in the day.
Would you eat a prime rib that cost $5.95?
Probably slather my shoe in A1 sauce before I'd eat prime rib. That was $5.95. But I'm just saying. Used to be a pretty inexpensive place to go. Inexpensive place to go. But now that's changed.
I know. Well, it's probably because of sales tax. I blame sales tax.
That's it.
So okay, all right. So we moving on. Okay. Montana.
This should take 5 seconds.
Right? Why? Why, JB?
Nomad state.
Well, I have a very important question. So if you're taking someone to the train station in Montana, but it's really over the state line in Wyoming where you're depositing the person at the train station, do you have to pay tax?
On what?
I don't know.
On the murder?
On disposal of the body? I mean,
You'd pay use tax on the ammunition.
Hashtag spoiler.
Right? I
alert.
know. Well, if you haven't watched it by now, you're missing out.
It's on you.
All right,
It's completely on you.
All right, well, that's for
There
further
is no
research.
sales tax in Montana, folks. That's what we mean by nomad state. So it's a pretty short conversation. They have taxes on a number of different things there, property taxes and other, ways of raising revenue. But for the most part, yeah, pretty tax-friendly state.
All right, so let's move on to, one of our favorites we always offend, Utah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So,
the beehive state.
but I do love Utah. It is amazing. So,
Absolutely.
So Tim, you want to talk about local level taxation?
Yeah, I mean, there's local level taxes in in Utah, but it's not technically home rule because they're not self-administered, so everything's administered at the state level. They, obviously we talked about just in general liquor taxes and restaurant taxes and things like that in Utah. With Donna's quiz, there's a 1% restaurant tax that comes on a special schedule.
I know. We researched that at the break, and I thought, oh my gosh, where have I been? Yeah, that we do.
Thank goodness it's not one of your clients. We do file a return for a client in Utah.
I have just never personally filed that return myself, so I thought this cannot exist if I have not done it. So, so we do. Yes, that return still exists, and then JB did a little bit of research about the grocery tax, about how they're looking at lowering grocery and food sales tax, but are really trying to make it more of an income tax break. I don't know. It's a little, we're going to have to do some more research about that.
Yeah, they did a $400 million tax cut, and then it was a little bit of, well, where are you getting that? And they were like, well, don't you worry about it. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Our coffers are going to stay full.
Fork around and find out is the true sense of that for
you
food
go.
tax.
There you go.
We'll figure it out. But we're seeing this trend like we've talked about in other segments, regional segments, where that is the trend where we are looking at a lot of decreases in grocery and food sales
Why is
tax.
that, Jenny? Why are they decreasing grocery taxes?
Well, that's when I throw out my little term about regressive taxes that disproportionately affect lower income citizens.
Exactly. And
And-
as inflation's going up,
Correct.
taxes are going up,
Right.
And it's hurting people more.
Exactly.
And so the poor people are getting impacted more than,
Correct.
disproportionately, to the rest of the population.
Right. So I think it's an overall a move in the right direction. And, obviously they're going to fork around and find out and figure out where they're going to pay for it. So, yeah, there we go. All right. Moving on to Wyoming.
Ah, yes. Good old Wyoming.
Yes. Frontier days, cowboy boots,
Oh, yeah.
train
Good times.
station.
Yep.
Yes.
Pretty easy state, right? Pretty simplistic from a sales tax administration standpoint. Not really a lot of issues, probably because it's pretty isolated and desolate, right? Not really a large population, not a lot of people to administer crazy tax rules. I don't know. That's just a presumption by me, but
Sure. And we don't have much of an issue. They have a pretty decent website, and the people there I've worked with off and on are very nice and pleasant. So,
discount by the 15th.
yes, they're, I think, the only state that does that. Maine, of course, you have to pay the full tax by the 15th, but
Michigan gives you accelerated
Oh, that's
discounts
true.
if you pay earlier, but
Different.
their true tax due date is the 20th.
and they will still give you a discount on the 20th.
That's right.
But
you
Wyoming,
get a greater one
yes.
in advance.
Yes, Wyoming is like, if you don't pay by the 15th, you get no discount.
That's right. You get nothing.
You get nothing and like it.
There you go.
So, yes, but I mean, that's pretty cool if you can get your info in ahead of time and get your discount. So,
Yep.
yeah, but other than that, they're a pretty simple state. So we appreciate you, Wyoming.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, long list of states. Not too long list of people we need to apologize to. We didn't offend a lot of people today. Arizona lawmakers. We kind of poked fun at them a little bit with their how they're lobbying and how they're doing the taxes, and maybe a little bit of.
Shadiness.
We may have inferred that there's some shadiness happening.
With politicians? No.
Naughty by nature, because we did that a lot.
Yeah.
Donna, we just want sorry for the very first thing you had to do before you even came to work on your first day back from vacation was make a quiz for us, but it was good.
We're sorry, Donna.
New
She threw
Mexico,
some brain busters out there.
she did a good job.
Oh my gosh.
New Mexico for giving a tax break, but we kind of seemed like we didn't think it was a big enough tax break.
Yeah.
Like, that's not enough.
Not enough.
And then Colorado, it almost made the whole episode, but for
Jenny
not,
still poked
yeah,
fun
Jenny
at them.
did it for not being like Idaho.
There you go.
I know. I just want them to be chill, but, that's okay.
Why do they have to be like Idaho? They can't be themselves?
That's true.
You said everybody should be like Idaho.
we did say that, but maybe we just meant tax-wise. But
That
be
would
your
be
own
that.
individual. It's fine.
There you
That's
go.
going to be the tagline for the show when we make T-shirts. Synexus podcast. Everyone should be like Idaho.
Love it.
I love it. Well, that's all for today from Yellowstone and Fork Around and Find Out.
There you go.
I think we did that today.
Yes.
So, yes, please don't forget, if you have any issues with sales tax, call us at Synexus Tax Solutions or email us, because I don't like calling people either. And you can also listen to us on Apple, Spotify, watch us on YouTube, subscribe on Stitcher, and we appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time.
Take care.